Alright, so it's Monday the 15th of September. This is going to be completely non-scripted, off the dome. No idea how long it's going to last for. I might end up waffling on for a bit. Um, yeah, I've sort of pre-planned it in my head. I've made some notes. Sort of trusty phone, get that going. But yeah, let's go into it. So it's Monday the 15th of September. After this video, I'll be releasing my Google sheet that's got all of my the leads in that I've like purchased in the past like nearly 2 years now, since I started doing FBA, because I'm going vet reg and it's happened. I'd say at last, but there's been there's a couple of things that have helped to get there so quick. So I'm just gonna go through it, say what what my journey has been like, because obviously people have always said, do you do OA, do you do RA, do you do wholesale, how's your business run, blah blah blah. So just going to give you basically a step by step of how my FBA stuff has gone. So yeah, started in November 2023. I saw, so there was a guy that lives near to me, saw on his, I was doom scrolling on Instagram, and I saw on his Instagram a short reel, um, basically showing like Amazon FBA, and then what he does in his life now, etc., etc. Basically, not one of them normal ones, but I thought it's quite interesting. So, did the obvious thing of download, said um, like screen record, said reel, and then like zoom in on what the apps were that he was using. So then that way I just found out like what it was. Because I had no idea. I've never heard of it before. Um, so yeah, saw it, the reel from him, found the apps, downloaded the apps. Um, it was so I started November 23. My birthday was November the 5th. I remember having like mm, very minimal money to join. Just not even to join, to just start. I think I had like 200 to 300 quid. Like, if I had more, obviously, at this point, I'd be further ahead. Because that's just how it works. The more you have, the more you get out. Um, but yeah, so obviously it started really low. It just, I guess, it proves that it's possible to start really low and get really high. I mean, it does happen. So I don't have a full timeline of my events and what I did because I didn't keep track at the time, but I just went through it. Um, so I joined a lead group, which was great because at the time, obviously, I was so new. I just needed to learn. I spent a lot of money on learning the basics. To be fair, I didn't need to. At the time, I thought that this group was there was only like two main groups that I could learn from, and I thought that this one was the be all and end all. Um, Obviously, I was so like straightforward headed at the time, didn't realize that Amazon had such a big, like, so many people that are selling on it. I'd assumed that this mate of mine was in one of these groups and he just learned everything from there. Obviously, was not the case because there's like I have so many other groups. Obviously, I have my own, um, and Amazon is just widespread as it is. So I joined them. Some of the bits I never used, like I bought a wholesale course that I'd actually never used with them. I'd actually paid for a wholesale mentoring course later on, but we'll get into that later on. Um, I'd spent over 1.5k on it, so maybe upwards of 2k. I never really used any of the stuff that was in there. My thought process was I'll use the first couple of months to just learn how to do things, buy their leads, understand like when it gets home, like when it comes to home, the shipping it actually shipping it into Amazon, understand the FBA process, and go from there. So About 3 months after using their leads, I started just self-sourcing. So that was just manually sourcing every site that I came across, really. A lot of Boots, Superdrug, because the way that I was under the impression was just the only places you're going to find deals is your name brand sites that have got typically, that was where I thought it was. So you've got your retail arbitrage where you go into a shop and find the products, but online you've got access to Boots, Superdrug, and maybe Holland and Barrett or iHerb at the time, Curry's, Argos, just different places, but like not massive amounts of places. So I was like, okay, I'll just go through these every once in a while. Um, so that's like kind of where I was at. Money wise, like funds and stuff. I remember I was just purely using my business Revolut card. I'll put a link below if you want to join Revolut. You get, um, I'll get a referral of 200 quid, but just message me if you join and I'll give you half of it. So that's a 300 quid in your pocket, just for joining Revolut and doing whatever their sign up is. I'll just leave a link for that in the description below. Um, but yeah, I was just recycling money straight into the business. Obviously, I didn't keep any to the side for any expenses at the time because I had SaaS and that was it. I didn't get Seller Toolkit until 5 months in, maybe 6 months in. Um, I was still repricing manually. I remember I would stand at work, um, and I'd just be there repricing like 20 products at once. Well, not at once, but 20 products whilst I'm trying to be working. I was like, this is long, bruv. But then yeah, that's obviously I was dedicated to. I was meant to be at work, but I was dedicated to something else. I'd heard of a reprice of what they were, and I was like, "Ah, I don't need it, it's too expensive." How wrong I was. If you're starting out, get a repricer as soon as you can, kind of thing. Like the moment you've got, I don't know, over five, I think you probably need one from the beginning. Like you just if you reprice something manually, it's gonna change pretty much instantly because everyone else is going to be using a repricer. So you know you're already going to be behind the competition like straight away. So I would recommend Ascent. I'll leave a link to that in the description below, just because it just generates additional profit as well. Like it will get stuff up, you can sell above the buy box. And I know a lot of places go, oh, you're saying sell above the buy box, but I mean, it's worked for me. Um, I've had it for well over in a year now, I think. Yeah, well over a year. Um, I just don't intend on dropping it anytime soon. That's on the least of my worries list. So, yeah, a great big kit, a repricer. I'd recommend getting a repricer as soon as possible, really. Um, So yeah, I remember like when this mate come in and see come to do some shopping at work or whatever. He mentioned Ascent, so obviously jumped in on that. Drew had jumped on to the trial because it's 30-day trial. Um, I think it might have been 10 days back then, but I can't remember completely. It was a while ago. And then around June time came across All Things Arbitrage. So they're they're like I guess they're like the group I was in before, apart from seems more like real. The result the things that they post is actually genuine people. It's a far smaller group. It's a lot more like personalized, I guess. Um, the lead raffle, like the raffle. So for leads, instead of just posting them out, they'd raffle them out. They have Amazon to Amazon bots in there. Amazon to Amazon EU bots, I think now. There's a student discount generator in there. It's a good server and a good group of people. So I'd been in that since June 2024. And then July, I took on mentoring from the guys who own it. One of them focuses mainly on A2A, so I was, yeah, just, I mean, I remember doing my first Prime Day. I can't remember which Prime Day it was. It would have been 24. Um, but I remember I like spent loads of money on just total shit products, and that's just how it was. Yeah, I just absolutely blew like some stuff that sold for. I remember buying them for 275 or something, but they'd always been 275. I just saw a low price and thought, oh, that's a really good one, without actually having any idea how to do it. But then, yeah, I did a proper Prime Day or Black Friday. I think Prime Day was the day I messed up on, and then Black Friday was the time that after I'd learned everything. So July, and running up to that Black Friday sort of time. And then the other guy focuses on like OA stuff. So I had a good mix of both. They also helped with putting like systems into place. So um, during that time, I spent about £300 on like downstairs in the garage. I cleaned it all up, tidied it all up, and put a whole workbench in there. So during that time, just two printers, one for SKU labels, one for FBA labels, and then all my packaging materials underneath on the bench. All my spare boxes to my left, all my spare labels to my right. Literally just very systematic procedure. I They also showed me like how to actually use the Google Sheets interact integration with SAS, so that made so much more sense. My SKUs was also I started making my SKUs like supplier by price, how many I bought, sell price, like how much I want to sell it for, and then just like a random unique identifier, so to speak. Um, and then Ascent would pull the COGS or the buy price from the SKU, so I never had to deal with that in any way. So that was like saved times from when I had to put in the cost of goods for products. So that was a win for me. And then obviously I was so much more organized because I was able to see which products I'd ordered and see which products I hadn't like which hadn't arrived, which ones hadn't got invoices for. Um, and yeah, that was like the start of getting organized more and more for the FBA stuff. Um, and then through ATA or things arbitrage, I found Felix because he was on their podcast. Also found Profit Path because they did a little like partnership together. So I just used like that became the heart and soul of my sourcing. So it wasn't I didn't have time to source. It was just I was quite lazy, but at the same time I just wanted it to work still. So I used Profit Path just for A2As. Well, actually, I used it for everything. I used it for A2As. I used it for storefront stalking. I used it for OA. That just became my way of sourcing for a good couple of months. I'd say 6 months, 5 6 months, probably half a year, maybe a little bit more. But then in July 2025, I started wanting more. I wanted started wanting the business to go further, to do more. I was consistently getting closer to getting like 10k sales a month. I know that that doesn't sound appealing to everyone because it's not necessarily about the sales, it's about your profits and your ROIs and whatnot. But I felt like that was a milestone that I could achieve if I knew if I just felt like I was always missing something because I'd become too reliant on the software that I was only using, which was obviously at that time Profit Path I was only using. Um, so I wasn't necessarily lacking anything, but I just felt like there was something I was missing. So a year after I bought my original mentor in, I then invested into the mentoring with Felix. I should mention that during January, February time, I did also buy a wholesale mentorship course, but I, yeah, it just didn't work out for me. It was, I've seen people that do wholesale and they do really well for it. It's great for them, but yeah, it didn't work out for me, so I've never gone further forward with it. Maybe I'll do a few wholesale deals here and there or brand direct deals here and there, but mainly OA. But we move on. It was just a small, like, I tried it for, because it's not like you try it for a week or whatever. Like, you've got to put your heart and your properly got to put heart and soul into the wholesale stuff, because obviously you're ringing people, you're emailing people, you've got to really look into the suppliers and that, make sure you're not wasting money. So I remember doing that for 3 4 months, and that was where I was like, okay, I I can't. The wholesale's not working out for me. The OA and the stuff, the A2A stuff is it's great, but just using one bit of software, I'm lacking something. I don't want to go back to manually sourcing. Um, I had access at the time to a thing called Storefront Bot, but it's similar to Profit. It was part of it was similar to Profit Path, where it would pull um the suppliers from wherever that storefront had bought it from, it would pull it for you. But so Profit Path was was limited at the time with the suppliers they had, that obviously storefront bot obviously took priority. So I had multiple things that I could use, but I felt like I was restricted with just using Profit Path like all the time. It got to a point where I started using it, like when you start using something daily, and you expect that the results to be different, it's not going to happen. The results were never different because uh I was given, like, you got to think of it as the supplier or the retailer or whatever, they're going to update their systems, they're going to update their products and prices and that when they have that stock in. Like, if you're checking it daily, it's not going to change any quicker. So yeah, I just felt like I was missing something. I took on the mentoring with Felix in July 2025. I joined Live Cop soon after. Um, Obviously, I can't speak much on the stuff that Felix has taught me because I can't. But what I can say is I would have gone VAT Reg. I don't think I would have gone VAT Reg until the way my sales were going. Um, I was obviously close to the 10K mark each month. I don't think I would have hit it until maybe Q2 next year. I would have definitely hit it next year without a shadow of a doubt. Um, it would not have been this soon, but yeah, got to I've got to, where we are now. Um, with the things I know, I think people say to me, "Oh, is Felix's mentoring worth it?" Well, yes, for one, like, I'll throw up on screen a screenshot or screen recording of something of all of my. So it's a report I pulled from Seller Toolkit, and it's all of the deals that I've bought I've sourced using stuff I know from what Felix has taught me from July through to today. So that's the 15th of September. So that will show you like a good chunk of what I've been buying and how I've been sourcing it. Not necessarily, it won't show you how I've sourced it. It'll show you how I've used the methods and things that Felix has taught me to build business. I know that there's more things inside the mentoring that I haven't been told about, basically because at the moment I've held off on sourcing for now, just whilst I get the VAT reg stuff sorted. I've got to get a backlog of so many invoices, it's unreal. So I'm kind of preoccupied with that. I also just did a really big wholesale order for um, a really nice. It was very good. Yeah, I started sourcing with VAT reg settings on, and now I've started sourcing with my prep fee on for when I start using the prep center. And yeah, no, I found this wholesale deals come across to me with the connections I know from inside the mentoring, and I've gone ahead purchased that. It's killed my cash flow a little bit, but we move. It's all sort of come in the right time because I'm clearing stock before I go VAT reg. There's the whole, some of them are coming in at they were brand direct deals that have gone they've gone rather than going. Spent 7 grand on this. I now have over 300 units of stock that's losing 80 pence per unit, but I'd rather lose 80 pence per unit than like go VAT reg and lose, I don't know, over a pound, over £2, over £3 per unit. So I'm just sort of hammering sales now, um, getting the money, so turned around, cycled around, and then yeah, I can get that money in and out, um, straight back onto deals that I know sell now because I have a couple of replens that are brilliant. Basically, I'm putting the money back into the business in the best way possible. Um, so yeah, paid for that wholesale order that I got through the connections in the mentoring. Clearing a bunch of stock at the moment. Uh, so I've trimmed the fat, so to speak, with my expensive. So Live Cops has an extensive range of bots, plus it has AI to analyze your deals with you or for you. Just obviously do your own stuff, just work it out yourself. Um, so obviously I've just cancelled expenses and softwares that I've not used for a while now. Um, just different ones, won't go into what they were. And yeah, just clearing stock to prepare for VAT reg. And as soon as the money's back into the business, credit cards are all paid off, and I'm all safe, etc., etc. Just prepping for Q4. I mean, September. We're in September now, so October, November, December coming up soon. Um, Ideally, I'd like to be prepping like maybe no, September, early September, but because of the yeah, a couple of because of the wholesale deal, I just wanted to get that cleared and out of the way. 1,000 units of that, so that's good to get that in and going on the way. Mentioned earlier about the prep center, so I'm going to be using Rainforest Prep. One of my one of my I've met him from a long time ago. I can't remember from where. I think from the original league group, but I'm not 100% certain. It might be an ATA. But before my Discord server was a Discord server, it was just a group chat. That was, yeah, I had him from there. He's now made his own prep center, so I'll be helping him out. Whilst he helps me out, obviously. Investing into my business, but also yeah, investing into his. I think it's important to make sure that it's not necessarily you scratch my back, I scratch yours. you know, these guys can help you out down the line, whether it's discounts or whatever. Um, I'm not gonna reveal how much my prep fee is, but I can say that I'm very grateful for what it will be, um, massively, and for the connections that I have. I feel like my whole FBA journey in general has been a roller coaster. Um, it's just been unreal. Like I've had a lot of highs, some lows, I guess. Clearing stock at loss is not a great thing to have to go through. Um, but it is what it is, and it's what you got to do to to make money. You can't win all the time. But yeah, I did hit that reg. I've applied. The accountant's applied for it. Um, just purely because I've got no idea how to do it. I'd say an accountant and a reprice. So definitely a repricer for when you start, and an accountant like when you start doing bigger numbers. I don't know. I mean, I would just go from the beginning. But then again, not everyone's got loads of money to start. But yeah, I mean that's obviously not gonna focus, is it? That's gonna be awkward. 94, just over 94K in the last 12 months, and then obviously today sales units ordered. Um, yeah, that's a lot of that in the past. This month. I was always wanting those 10K months. Well, now I've got it, but it's clearing stock, so it's not great. It's not obviously what I want. If I just change my seller toolkit to the previous month, I can show you. No, that's not going to work. So, yeah, that's the previous month. Over £2 grand profit, over 11,500 pounds in sales. Really good ROI. Exceeded everything last month. It was a really good month. But obviously, this month, like I say, is going to be a lot of clearing stock. So slightly lower on pretty much every front apart from the sales. So the sales is like really hammering it through. So definitely going to hit that 10K sales mark. The ROI is going to be a lot lower. The profit might be a lot, well, it probably will be a lot lower, but yeah, just going to get through as many units as possible. Hopefully, my wholesale order that'll land maybe this week, maybe next week. I've got a lot of replenishables that I've bought, so they will be landing very soon. Um, I've got over a grand's worth of stock going off today. So yeah, and my that's basically a wrap up of my FBA journey. I mean, it also, you know, any questions or whatever, I'll chuck my Instagram, my Twitter. I don't really use Twitter, so I'll chuck my Instagram down below. Um, and I'll also leave the link to the Google Sheets mega sheet that has all the leads that I've used before I become that reg, minus my replenishables, obviously. But that's about it for this video. I'm not going to go into any more waffling, but stay safe, um, live well, and I'll see you on the next one.